Hi, my name is Debbie, and I have breast cancer. 4 months ago, life as I knew it completely changed. I hope I don't get emotional. I've always been a stubborn person. Never went to the doctor unless I was sick. If you saw me, I was sick. And 4 months ago, the Lord stayed after me, and it has to be God, plain and simple, because I started having problems that I knew were not normal with my body. And so I talked to some family members and close friends. They all recommended that I have a mammogram. And I would say, yeah, okay, but I never did have it. So then I started praying about it. I started asking my church for prayer because I surely believe in healing. And I went to work one morning and I got a notice in the mail that the UAMS mammography van was going to be in our area. Well, I did what I normally do with what I think is junk mail, and I threw it in the trash. I went home that night and I couldn't rest. I couldn't sleep. I walked the floor, and so when I went back to work the next day, I took it out of the trash and I laid it on the desk, and I thought, okay, and it laid there for like 3 days. And I continued. I'd have these spells over the next several days of things that I knew, pain and stuff I knew that was not normal. And I finally went to work on the 4th day and I said, okay, you win, I'll call. So I called and I made the appointment. And I went out, and at age 52, I had my very first mammogram. I went and I had it done. I was scared. I thought, I've heard all these horror stories about how terrible it is. It hurts, and they swish your private parts until they're like pancakes and stuff. And it was not like that at all. It was very completely different. They told me that I would get the results in the mail probably about 5 to 7 days. The day that I got the results, the letter in the mail, and I opened it, it said that they had found something that they thought maybe needed a better look at. So I called them, and they told me that I had what they called calcified deposits in my right breast, and I had a thickening. Well, I was worried about the thickening. She said the calcified deposits are normal. Everybody has calcium in their body, and everything. It's all normal. So I said, well, we think that you need to have a better mammogram, one that's stronger than the one that's on the van. And you can go to whoever you want to go to. You can go to your regular doctor and he can set you up with one there. And I said, well, no. I said, I started out with UAMS and that's where I'm going to go. So I made my first trip of many to Little Rock and went to the Breast Cancer Institute there at UAMS, and couldn't ask for, any better people. Everybody I've come in contact, from the doctors to the nurses to the staff, everyone. Even the people that stop you in the lobby and say, hey, can I direct you to where you need to go? They've all been so very helpful. So I had this test, and the technician there, the doctor that read it, told me that the thickening was fine. It was just regular, but what they were concerned with was the calcified deposits, and that I needed to have a biopsy. So the next week I made another trip back to Little Rock, and I had the biopsy. That's when I first met Dr. Malik, and I just absolutely love Dr. Malik. He is such a very caring, and just, you can tell he cares about his patients. He explained everything to me, and he did the procedure, and then I went home, and he told me before I left, he said, I'll call you in 5 days. No more than 5 days with the results. Well, he called me the next day. And when I answered the phone, he asked me how I was, and I said, well, I'm all right. I said, I was doing okay until you called me. I said, because you told me it'd be 5 days, you're calling me the next day, so it can't be good, but just lay it on me. And he told me that day that I had ductal carcinoma in situ, that mine was in a certain spot in my ducts, that it was not invasive. He said that it was early stages. He said, that's good. And he said I had the most common form of breast cancer in men and women. Well, you know, at the time, I didn't care. I didn't care if it was the most common or the most worst or whatever. It was cancer. And when you hear the word cancer, you automatically think the worst. You think cancer, death. I need to, oh Lord, I need to get all of my affairs in order. You have every emotion known to man hit you right then in a matter of seconds. I went through denial. You know, I said, no, they've got it wrong. It's wrong. They read it the wrong way. And I went through anger, sadness, feeling sorry for yourself, the why me's. I went through all of that. Dr. Malik talked me off the cliff. He did. He told me that everything was going to be just fine, that it was a very high survival rate in what I have, and that he just knew that I was going to be okay, that I was going to make it. I came home and I told everybody, all of my friends, people that were my friends on Facebook, everything, because I wanted prayer, because I'm a full believer that God answers prayers. And I thought, well, the more he hears, you know, the better chance I have. So when I went back and I met my surgeon, Dr. Daniela Ochoa, little bitty woman, Mexican woman, little bitty, wear big spike high heels. I told her, I said, you've won me over with all them heels, you can walk around in it. But she's very funny, joking, she just very thorough, sits and listens to you, answers your questions, makes sure that you understand what you're going through and what you're gonna go through. And when she did the first surgery, she said, we got all of it except on one side. They do the test by 4 sides, and she said, all of this side, the top, the bottom, and this side, the left side, came back clear, but she said, your right side still showing positive for cancer. Everything that I have is microscopic because I was still at a low stage. And it's not invasive, it was still in one spot. They were having to go by ultrasounds in order to see it. So I myself, being the diva I guess I think I am, I wanted to try to save my breast. So I wanted to do it one more time. And she told me she didn't see no reason why we couldn't, that she felt like we could get it all. And so I went through it again a week later. So in a matter of 2 weeks, I had 2 surgeries. And when I went back, she was so upset that she wouldn't come in the room first. She sent her support doctor, the one that went in with her. And I said, it cannot be good because she sent you in here first. And she said, well, Dr. Ochoa's trying to compose herself. So I said, well, just sit down with me and talk to me. And she told me, she said, it's still there. She said, it's still positive. She said, we didn't get it all. So Dr. Ochoa come in and she sat with me and she cried with me. I got very upset. She cried with me just as bad as I did. And she told me, she said, I think it's time now that we really seriously need to talk about removing your breast. And I said, well, I don't want to talk about it. I said, I just want to have it done. Just go ahead and do it. It's probably something I should have done starting out, but me being me, I wanted to try to save my breast. And she understood that. It's all about the patient, what the patient wants. But when it comes to a point where she sees that the better part would be to remove it, then she's going to give her opinion, and she did. So I met with her that day, and then I went back a couple of days later and I met with a plastic surgeon, Dr. Eric Wright, and he explained to me what he would do to rebuild, and we had a wonderful conversation about perky breast, and he told me, he said, I like you. He said, you're funny. He said, you got a good attitude. And I said, well, you have to have a good attitude when you go through something like this. And all the well wishes and all of the good intentions mean a lot to someone who's going through this, who's battling something like this. But you never really know how you feel, how that person feels, until a doctor looks at you and says, you've got cancer. It's not the end of the world. It's not. My recommendation to someone out there that might be like I am, they're too busy, or they just don't want to do it, it's scary, they've heard horror stories about having a mammogram, or they're like I was, if it's there, they don't want to know about it. Well, you do need to know. It's important to know, and it's important because you're important to the people that love you. And that's what I've been telling myself. I have a 12-year-old daughter that's autistic, and she needs me. I'm a single mother, and I have decided that my battle is not going to be for me, it's going to be for her. She knows more about it than I do. She's done all of this looking on the internet and researching and such. But I would recommend that you have a mammogram. And I would recommend that you join a support group of people that, ladies or men, because cancer doesn't discriminate. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care what color your skin is. It doesn't care how old you are, how young you are. It doesn't care how much money you have in your pocket or in your bank account. It still affects you the same way. And I think that joining a support group, I joined one, and it was one of the best things that I could have done, because it's people, women right now is only in mind, but it's women that have gone through the steps that I'm taking now. But it's a journey. It's a journey that I will have to travel now until the end of my life. Whether I become cancer-free or not, I'm still going to be a cancer survivor. And I'm still going to have to take care of myself physically, and I'm going to have to take care of myself mentally. It's okay to have pity parties. I have one about once a week. But it's okay. But, I mean, you need to know. If I could tell anybody out there, if I can make anybody understand that, yes, it's important, you need to go have a mammogram. You need to go check and make sure.